Good morning, everybody. It is 10:45 in New York. It is really, really hot. I was just walking over to the office, and it was really hot outside. It wasn't even 9 o'clock in the morning. So I hope everybody's staying hydrated, everybody's well, and everybody's loved ones are okay. What do I want to address today? I would say the most frustrating topic for our clients today is the 601A waiver. Over the last couple of years, the processing time went from a little bit over a year to now being over 4 years. And people are completely understandably frustrated. They come to me and to our attorneys and they say, Natalia, when we started the process, you gave me this processing time. And right now, you're telling me it's triple the amount. That is true. At the time when we started doing the case, we give you the processing time that is most up to date on the immigration website. We go onto the immigration website, which gives you a range of processing time. The way that they do it is they say like 80% of cases are completed within this many months. And that is the time that we give you. We give you that processing time and we give you what we're seeing on the ground at the time. So for example, right now, if you go on a website and you ask them, what is the processing time for a citizenship application? The time that is going to be listed on USCIS website is actually going to be longer than what we're seeing on the ground in New York, New Jersey, Florida, and some other states. Connecticut is really, really fast. So let's go back to 601A. The trouble, of course, has just been made worse by the fact that we just had a retrogression in the petitions filed by a green card holder spouses. I'm not sounding the alarm on that just yet, just because, we're very close to October, which is the beginning of the fiscal year for the government, and when the government is going to release new immigrant visa numbers. So we're hoping that in October, the numbers are going to go back to normal for the family-based petitions filed by U.S. permanent residents, not citizens. The waiver has been a very contentious topic all over the internet, all over immigration. It was talked a lot about at the ELA conference. We as practitioners talk about it a lot amongst each other with other colleagues, and everybody's frustrated. Yes, of course, our clients are the most frustrated because they were hoping to get it done within a couple of years, and now the process seems to be going on forever. But we're just as frustrated as you are because we have to address your concerns and try to give you some comfort in the way that it has nothing to do specifically with your individual case. That's my biggest concern, is that people come to me and say, Natalia, something must be wrong with my case. Something must have been filed wrong. Something must be out of order that it's taking so long. That actually is not true. Everybody who has a 601A case is stuck. It doesn't have anything to do with your individual case. It's just that the processing time retrogressed so much since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, what has been done? Several months ago, there has been a lawsuit that was filed against USCIS saying that the time that they're taking to process 601As is completely unreasonable, and the lawsuit is ongoing. So far, what have we seen as a result of the lawsuit? This year, everybody who has a 601A case pending is receiving, everybody who has a 601A case pending for a certain amount of time is receiving what are called transfer notices. So it appears that USCIS is taking steps to address the backlog. It looks like they're taking the waivers and distributing them to other processing centers in order to expedite the processing. Obviously, this is not going to be an immediate solution because the case has to get transferred. It has to be assigned to an officer. And if the officer is newly, let's say, employed, they have to go through a certain type of training, because 601A has legal standards that is associated with it. It's not just saying, oh, I'm married to you, a citizen, I'm getting my waiver approved, there's a legal standard. They have to make determinations. Some applicants have been arrested or have criminal histories that need to be addressed. So some cases are definitely a lot more complicated than others, not to say that they're not grantable, because everybody's situation is different. A person who's has been arrested in the past might have a really, really strong hardship case that can overcome the previous arrests. So what do I want to summarize here today? I know, I'm very well aware. All of my attorneys are well aware. All of our paralegals are well aware. All of our support staff is well aware that the waiver for 601A processing time keeps getting longer. It is not a reflection on your case. It is not a reflection on the type of work that we've provided to USCIS that is outside of the control of you, and it's outside of the control of me. I can even tell you more. We have tried several times to expedite the waivers due to some very serious circumstances, some very serious illnesses, cancer related, urgent circumstances. So we've gotten a rejection, even though we've provided medical letters from doctors, and so on and so forth. I believe that the USCIS is not equipped to handle the amount of waivers that they do. And I strongly believe that they are addressing the situation, because for them it is also frustrating. They don't want to be involved in the lawsuit. I do think it's going to start getting better towards the end of the year. I think we're going to start getting a lot more waivers, decisions on a lot more waivers. Historically, it takes about a year for USCIS to really ramp up processing of certain applications. For example, look at what they've done with the green cards since the start of the new administration. 90% of our clients don't even go to the interview, and the processing times decreased threefold. Look at citizenships. A couple of years ago, you'd come to me and I would say 18 months. For sure, 18 months, don't even think about it, anything earlier. Now, I think the fastest we've had done was under 90 days. And they keep on going and going and going and going and going. So USCIS, when they want to, they certainly can address and expedite the situation, but citizenship and processing of a 601A waiver is very different. Most of the time, yes, there are certain very complicated citizenship cases where there has been previous deportations, removal, there's been criminal history, that they're a messy kind of sort of way, and that's what we specialize on. But unlike the waiver, with the citizenship, the officer gets to see the person, right? In a waiver situation, the officer is limited to whatever is submitted to him or her. And if they want to see something more, they have to send out a request for evidence. And that automatically obviously delays the processing time, because it stops. They send us a request for evidence. We have to respond to a request for evidence, and they have to receive it, and only then continue processing the case. And I anticipate that that's what's going to happen with majority of the 601As, just because USCIS is taking such a long time, and it's been over 3 years. The documents that we submitted in 2019, 2020, 2021 have obviously been already outdated. It's normal. There's been another 2 seasons of taxes. There could have been changes in the medical situation. There could have been changes in the financial situation. Some people moved to different states. Kids were born. Relatives have unfortunately passed away. Life goes on, and people feel stuck. And we feel it. And I completely understand it. And I try to explain it to the best of my ability. But we are all holding our breath for some good news, which I think are coming soon. As soon as we start seeing some real movement on the ground, not just the transfer notices, but real movement on the ground, I will make another video to make sure you guys are staying in the loop. Meanwhile, if you do have a 601A waiver with us pending, you can certainly schedule an appointment with me or one of the attorneys at the office. You can speak to your paralegal, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have. Please don't forget that if you move and you change any of your information, you need to make sure your attorney knows, so we can let USCIS know. If you are not represented by an attorney, you must let USCIS know that you've moved and information has changed, because when they do send out that request for evidence, you want to make sure it reaches you as fast as possible, because you are going to have a limited amount of time to answer that, and you want to have the advantage of as much time as possible. If you have any questions, feel free to call us. It's 212-840-0050. You can always find us on our website and schedule a consultation or a phone call. Thank you, and I hope everybody continues to have a great summer, stay cool and hydrated. Thank you. Have a great day.